I'm Annie Studebaker, and I bring to you an abundance of knowledge from our South Texas rural communities. Follow me as I take you on a journey of inspiration and insight that will offer a deeper connection with people and businesses. Taxidermy is the art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals for display. I've always wondered what the process was to preserving these animals. Today, we visit Mesquite Creek Taxidermy located in Pearsall, Texas. Owner and taxidermist James Newport gives us a tour of his shop and explains what it takes to master this art.
Taxidermy has been a passion of mine since childhood. What we do is take the hunter's harvest and turn it into a three-dimensional, lifelike trophy. This showpiece is something they can talk about for many years. Taxidermy is basically a learned task. The best way to learn taxidermy is through basically an apprenticeship, where you start at the bottom, sweeping floors, skinning animals, and work your way up through all the processes of taxidermy. I've owned Mesquite Creek Taxidermy since the year 2000. We have up to 5 to 7 employees, depending on the time of year. This is the tan skin that's returned from our tannery before we start the mounting process. This is going to be a wet tan skin. This is leather. And that's what we will take and put over a urethane foam form in the specifications that the hunter wants to be the pose that he wants. This is a white-tailed deer. This is the face of the white-tailed deer. Tan skin. Eyes are here. Nose, mouth, ears. This tan skin and the antlers will be the only part of the deer that is reused. I'm going to show you how we take this tan skin and move forward in the mounting process. Generally be a lot of work done to this form, sanding it, rasping it, make sure the glue sticks. Also sculpting on the head to make him look like a mature South Texas deer. We're going to skip those steps and just show you how we set an eye. Okay. Actually thinning the inner eyelids. We'll turn it back right side out here in just a second so you can see what I'm dealing with here. This will be the skin that's tucked in the mounting process. Yeah, we'll take any kind of hole. First, you want to look on the outside and make sure no hairs are cut. If the hairs are cut, then you have to cut a hole bigger than that so you get rid of the cut hair. But you always have to take a hole and turn it into a football shape. That way it'll sew up on both ends. Okay. So I'm actually going to cut this hole bigger, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's how you got to do it. Being careful not to cut the hair on the other side.
I've always wondered how an entry hole was concealed on a display piece. The hide that he was working on had a very visible one. So when somebody shoots an animal, they bring him to you immediately then?
Well, they
refrigerate until you're ready to get it?
Nowadays in South Texas, hunting is such an industry that most people have walk-in coolers and that kind of stuff, so they can maintain them on their ranch.
For how long?
A week, somewhere in that kind of time frame.
And then they bring them to you to skin?
Right.
So you do that though? And then you send the hide off?
Yes, and then we send the hide off to a professional tannery to be tanned. And we have a meat processor next door that they process the meat for them. They want jerky or sausage or whatever they want. So.
Don't go away. When we come back, James demonstrates one of the most crucial steps in taxidermy, setting the eyes.
You already know VTX1 offers the best in television entertainment, but did you know that we offer the best box office hits? Upgrade to Showtime and experience the latest and greatest Hollywood movies and series you can't find anywhere else, like Penny Dreadful and Homeland, World Championship Boxing, and Mixed Martial Arts. Get 10 gray channels and 4 high-definition channels, all for only $17 a month. Showtime on VTX1. We are your local provider. Call 1-800-446-2031 to upgrade today.
Okay, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do it. We're gonna go clay inside as a backer. We're gonna take the eye. You can't see it. A deer has a flat pupil. They're a prey species, so their eye is designed to watch the horizon at all times, okay? You can't see it, you can see it with a light. You'll have to trust me that there's a flat shaped pupil in there, okay? So we're gonna make sure that pupil is level with the ground. Sink that in. There's a 37-degree angle this way and a 12-degree angle that way. It looks kind of like I just stuck it in there because I did, but that's from doing it for years and years, okay? So we're gonna take this water-based potter's clay. We're gonna start on the bottom lid. We're gonna lay clay around it like so. Blend that into the form. Gonna take a little larger roll of clay. And start with the top. We're going for a very relaxed expression. We want the deer to look like he's in a calm, natural state of living in the world.
Since taxidermy takes hours and hours of work, we decided to just demonstrate how the eyes are set. Keep in mind that there are plenty more steps to take prior to setting the eyes.
Okay. Fairly simple enough. And you can do the other side?
Yes.
You can just grab some clay and stick it on there.
Okay. That's the
gonna
little
be
one?
That's the
for
little
bottom?
one. Yep. And that's the bigger one. You want to stuff that in there, or you want me to do that?
Okay, no, I want to do
Okay.
that. This is,
Okay.
I just
You're just going to
plaster
pack it in
on
there. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. You got it.
Well, this is mine, so it's just not even right. Okay, so if I remember correctly, we're going to stuff this in here like this. Am I doing this right?
You
like
got
that?
it. So far, so good.
So now we're going to do the eyeball. You got to
Yep.
show me. There's a line in here, and
There's
I sure can't see it.
There's a pupil. You can see it from the back side at times. See the pupil going that direction? See the little indentation? So you want to just lay it in there
Goes
just like that. Yeah.
Okay, see there? I couldn't see it, but anyway. And it goes in like that?
Close? Yeah.
Close?
You want to go a
fix
little farther in?
Oh boy, you really shoved it in there.
And we're
Okay.
going to go a little more in that way.
Oh, wow,
Okay.
okay. So we're gonna wipe that. And now, get rid of this.
Yep.
Now I've got this little one, which I didn't do, but anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and put it underneath, right?
Right.
Am I correct?
You got it.
And then you kind of flatten it out like
Kind
this.
of blend it in there. Yeah.
And then we do the big one on top?
Yep.
Like this?
Yes.
All right. And flatten it. Oh, you said we were gonna give it this look.
A little bit of relaxed, comfortable.
Relaxed, comfortable
Yeah.
look. Wow.
What do you
Now
think?
what? You
What do
better
you think?
fix
Did she
it
get
up.
it? Did she get it?
Did I get it about the same? Let's look. Not even. How sad. I'm gonna have to move this down a little bit. There is a corner here. My goodness, this is gonna take a lot of fixing. All right, let me turn it that way a little bit. Let's turn it so he could see this eye.
Go farther.
All right, well, mine doesn't look like him. We're gonna let him fix it up. Go ahead, James, fix it up. It wasn't good enough, so he's gonna do it all over. That's okay. He's getting paid for this, not me.
There you go.
What a difference. Do you usually wait till it's dry to put the skin over?
No, we'll put the skin over, tuck it in,
Oh,
and then we'll
okay.
continue to shape the eye.
the
And we'll do
eye.
that here in just a second.
Okay,
We'll kind of,
okay.
you'll kind of see that. So
Cool.
now we're a little more like we
Yeah,
want to be.
majorly. I had flattened it out. That's no good. Okay, good.
We pop these capes to ensure that they go back to the size that they were originally. We go back to the measurements that we took off of the skin.
I'm want to get in there and help him pull it over the neck? You want me to do that? Let me try.
Okay. All we gotta do is just protect the eyes, so you can just go back with it. And I'll take a little bit of glue and put over this. This is just a water-based glue, so it's gonna dry just like the clay, just depending on the environment.
But it's gonna let the skin stick to it?
Right.
It's
gonna be-
remove it.
I am.
Oh.
It's not that quick. Okay, we're gonna set the eye. I don't know how technical you want to get over here, but
You need to pull this down some?
it's not really gonna matter. I mean,
Oh,
it's just gonna
really?
be for looks. I mean, we would.
Oh, you would
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on, okay. Oh, see, that's much easier. Okay, it'll stretch to fit. Okay.
This is also doesn't necessarily fit this form. I'm just showing you for an
I see,
example.
okay.
So we can pin these ears back so it doesn't look quite as much like a donkey if you guys want.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a donkey now.
Yeah, every time I do something for
There's
kids,
the eye.
I tell them, you guys don't know me, but you're gonna have to trust me. He's not gonna look like a donkey forever. So.
And why are you wetting it?
Just to keep it moist so it'll flow, so it's a little easier to work with the skin. We're gonna start with the skin in the front corner.
You're going to tuck it under the clay. You're going to tuck
Yeah,
this.
it's gonna, that's what you call it. You call tucking that skin, okay? So we're gonna start at that front corner, which is the cornicula or the caruncle. We're gonna start in that front corner, tuck it into the front. We're gonna come to that back edge, straight to the back and go towards the back and the bottom. Right now, I'm not worried about what it looks like. I'm just trying to get all that skin tucked underneath there, okay?
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Oh, I can do that.
You can do it, no problem.
Oh, no problem. Well, that looks real. Oh, wow.
Okay, simple enough?
Okay, I get to try the next one. Okay, so now we're going to put it right there
Yep.
and tuck it.
Yep.
You usually stretch it out and then tuck it like this.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
But you always start in the corner, so I'm going to mess it up. It can be removed, right?
Yeah, we'll fix it.
Oh gosh. This is not working out. Then you get the skin out like this and you tuck it in there.
Remember, I've got 20 years experience
We're
of
going to
doing
hide the boo-boos here.
this. Yep.
And
And we're gonna
I
tuck.
don't know.
See that stitch right where that gland is, that stitch area? That's gonna go into that little slot that I
This.
cut. Yeah.
this.
Yep.
Oh, it's got eyelashes.
Yep.
This does not look like the real thing, but we're gonna say it does. We're gonna put a little, you do this, right?
Yep.
Hey.
You got it. You nailed it.
That's all I'm doing, it looks terrible. Anyhow, okay, that's cool. I know my eye does not look like his eye, but anyway, I tried. Look at that, it's so terrible. That'll be the fun part.
There you go. You can get it from the front. That shows the difference in the two.
Yes, the difference right here. He looks terrible. He's got a black eye. That's what it is. Wasn't my fault.
Just make sure you guys don't say that I did that one and she did this one.
Tell me what you have up here.
We've got Corsican rams here and here. There's a javelina, which is a South Texas native species, black buck antelope, a white fallow. All those are whitetail. Speckled belly goose. Feral hog.
Ooh, those are mean looking.
Pronghorn antelope on the bottom there.
Huh.
from West Texas and out west.
Interesting. So how long does the process take to mount something like this?
Okay.
Let's say this.
The taxidermy process for a shoulder mount takes between 10 and 15 hours. But there's a lot of stages in that 10 to 15 hours. So it's not a 10 to 15 hour job. There's lots of little steps, from skinning to salting to drying to tanning to prepping to mounting to drying again to finish work. So there's a lot of steps that go.
So the salting is not part of the tanning?
No.
Oh, see, I thought it was. Oh, I'm learning. Okay, interesting. And so all these, I guess you have to buy all these, are they acrylic eyes?
They're glass eyes.
Glass eyes and different sizes.
Different sizes, different shapes, different colors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what were you telling me about the eyeball is, the deer's eyeball is different?
All prey not all prey species, but lots of prey species have a flat pupil, an elongated pupil, like that.
Oh,
They
I
have
see.
developed a characteristic where they hold that eye at this level where the pupil's covering the horizon at all times. So when they go down to feed, their pupil stays at the same level so they can watch a broader spectrum of what's happening around.
Wow, they're like having a built-in GoPro camera, isn't
You got it. You got it.
Interesting. Why the paper in their nose?
Okay, that's to hold the skin where we left it. We sculpt the inside of that nose to be a anatomically correct nostril, and then we tuck that skin inside there. So we want the skin to stay where we left it, so it dries that way.
Wow, so the nose is actually the real animal.
Yes, that's real skin, sure is.
Oh, interesting. You know, I've noticed that the mounts over the years have changed. They used to all have wood in the back.
Right?
So is this a new thing?
No, it's just, it's a swing, I guess, in our industry. Back 25 years ago, there were 75% had plaques. Now it's down to about 5%. It's an additional cost. I don't know if that's what's led our industry away from it, or the look. I don't know.
It's a good swing then.
Yes,
in the industry.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like it. It looks more natural.
Yeah, and more of a flow.
I like that. What do you do about getting this in the form? The legs, are they?
They're all cut. There's a seam that goes up the back of the legs to allow us to get him on there.
And then you just glue it on
Right,
the leg.
glue it and sew it. And you, of course, the form has to fit, so that's a big part of it.
Well, seems to be like a tough job, because how do you know if you haven't seen the animal, or have you?
No, but we have the skin. So we can
you
take
have
measurements off the skin and test fit him so he'll fit that form.
How much does the skin shrink? How much
Shrink?
does the skin shrink, after tanning?
It's not going to shrink. It is going to draw up, but we'll pop it
But
out.
it'll
We'll stretch it
stretch easily.
back to its original size.
So it's important that you keep it damp until you
Right.
put it on the form,
Right.
right? Yeah, I felt that one. That one was pretty damp.
Anytime you start dealing with a life size, it gets more difficult because you have more aspects that have to fit. If you're off in one area, that's going to throw you off in another area, it's going to throw you off in another area. So anytime you start dealing with a life size, that's going to be more difficult than, say, a shoulder mount.
Okay, the shoulder mount.
That's all the rest
The
of it.
teeth. Tell me about the teeth. Are they real?
Yes, they can be. We also use artificial teeth. So it just depends on what the customer wants. If he wants bigger teeth, then we use artificial
And
teeth.
what are the artificial teeth made out of?
They're a plastic.
Plastic. Tongue? How about the tongue?
Also a plastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd keep the tongue in formaldehyde and then stick it on there. No, I'm just kidding.
No formaldehyde anymore. That was
no
the
more,
old,
huh?
That was the old days. That's bad for you.
Oh, they used to do it?
They used to use a lot of formaldehyde, a lot of harmful chemicals. And nowadays that we realize some of those things are bad for you, we use a lot safer materials.
products. So you have big freezers here to store all these animals?
Yes, we do. Although everything's tanned, it still has to be maintained frozen in the tan state so no bacteria can grow. So we do have lots of freezers.
So you don't do fish then, because that's just totally...
We do fish, but it's pretty rare. There's very little fishing industry in our area. South Texas is not exactly a hotbed for fishing.
But the fish is not the real fish.
We still do skin mounts, but
You do?
but the taxidermy industry has swayed more to a replica or a reproduction of fiberglass mold. So you catch your fish, you take measurements and take pictures, give those to us, and then we'll make you a replica of that fish.
This is the finishing process where we fill in all the eyes and the nose and add a mouth to it, and then paint them like that one is, so they look natural and real.
Oh, interesting. That's right, you got to paint the inside of the nose and the eye.
Because that's all the form in there, so it's discolored. It doesn't look natural.
So you don't want this clay to show and
Yeah.
make it look natural.
We'll end up painting it with the different paints and then filling it into the brown, and it makes it look a lot natural.
Huh, you're done with the nose, right?
Well, yeah, I just clayed it.
Yeah. Well, it looks good now. This is interesting. When we return, Carla Newport explains the business side of running Mesquite Creek Taxidermy. Then we get to see a little demonstration of a javelina being skinned for display. And later, James shows us some of the displays he and his team entered into competition.
You already know VTX1 offers the best in television entertainment. But did you know that we offer premium programming from HBO? Upgrade to HBO and experience hit original series like Game of Thrones and True Blood, World Championship Boxing, and the biggest and best Hollywood movies. Get 7 great HBO channels and 2 more channels for our HD subscribers. All this for only $19 a month. HBO on VTX1. We are your local provider. Call 1-800-446-2031 to upgrade today.
My name is Carla Newport. I work with my husband James here at our business, Mesquite Creek Taxidermy. When customers come in, they start here first. We get them to fill out a wildlife resource document, and that starts the process legally with Texas Parks and Wildlife and us having the deer in our possession. They give us all of their information. That's one of the most important parts that sometimes people don't realize. If they don't get me their phone number, their email address in nice, neat writing, I cannot get back in touch with them. The second most important part is giving us as much detail as they can, what they want their animal to look like, what they want their trophy to end up looking like at home, its turn in their house, if they wanted a left or a right. So we work with them if they don't know what they want, to show off their animal the best way possible. After they fill out their information sheet, the wildlife resource document, we tag their horns, we tag their cape. We make sure we know where everything is at each time. The horns are in one place, the capes are in one place until it's their time to be worked on.
My name's Lane Adams.
Okay, Lane, what are you doing here? Tell me.
I'm skinning this javelina for a shoulder mount. Here, this is my first one, but living with my dad on the ranch, I did a bunch of these with deer and hogs. I'm going to end up putting this in the freezer, and then we've got other people that mount them, and then other people that finish them, and then they get shipped off to the owners.
On this mount, this is a competition mount. I just wanted to incorporate the South Texas cactus with it. I also put snow on there. The title of this is Rare Snow, because we do have light snows in South Texas, but they're obviously very rare. So you see the snow on the cactus kind of blends in with that. This cactus is a cast cactus. It's a plastic cast that I made. Also, the quills you see on there are real quills from real cactus. The caption on this guy is basically night terrors. This is a vision I've had and wanted to do for years. About 4 years I've been trying to get this thing done. Finally came up with it. The theme is this pig's asleep, dreaming. You can see his little kick marks where he's kicking and dreaming and running in his sleep. And this is what's happening in his dream, being chased by an owl. Also, you see the entire armature. The flow of the armature is also the shape of a rattlesnake. Part of his night terrors. We don't try to explain it. It's just some of the things that he fears. That's where his night terrors come from. This owl is just a custom sculpture, something that I sculpted from urethane foam to depict this night terror owl. Okay, this is a competition piece I did a couple years back. The theory behind this is breaking bronze. The idea is that it was an entire bronze and it's slowly breaking, coming back to reality. All the cactus I cast, anything you see that's bronze was sculpted to look like a sculpture. Basically, he's depicted as eating a pear apple off the top of this bronze, standing beside it. The bronze is attached to native South Texas mesquite that I carved in the flow shape that I wanted it to be in. The competitions we go to are our state association is the Texas Taxidermy Association. It's an association of taxidermists. It's designed for taxidermists to come learn from other taxidermists, develop their art, their craft, so they can become better taxidermists and provide a better product to their customers. This mountain lion actually belongs to the state of Texas, Texas Parks and Wildlife. He was actually killed illegally from a roadside in South Texas, in LaSalle County. He will be permanently displayed in the Operation Game Thief trailer, which is a trailer they take to hunting events that depicts illegally taken game. He had multiple gunshot wounds. In our mounting process, we camouflage those holes. We sew them up where they will no longer be visible. And he had multiple gunshots. This is a gorilla death mask. Was done by one of our foremost leaders in taxidermy back in the 1920s. His name was Carl Akeley. His imprint in the taxidermy industry is still present. You go and look at the stuff that he did back in the 1920s, it's still the caliber of the things that we do today. He was that amazing of an artist, that far ahead. He was consigned by the American Museum of Natural History to depict different arrays of African species. He had permits to shoot 15 gorillas, mountain gorillas in Africa. After he shot 7, he decided he would no longer shoot gorillas again. In the old days, they didn't have the photography, the videography, so a very important technique was to do a death mask. As soon as the animal was harvested, they would do a death mask, which they could recreate the facial structures and the anatomy of that. Taxidermists got a bad reputation back in the early days for killing animals to put in museums. But taxidermists are some of the foremost people that began preserves and conservation. Carl Akeley started national parks in Africa. William Hornady is responsible for saving the American bison. He was also a taxidermist. So taxidermists got a bad reputation for some of the things that people perceived they were doing, but they didn't realize what else the taxidermists were doing.
That's it for this episode. Next time you see a hunter's trophy, you might appreciate it even more. The hard work, long hours, and skill involved in making these works of art look realistic is astounding. If you're ever in Pearsall, Texas, and you've just returned from your hunting trip, make sure to stop by Mesquite Creek Taxidermy.